Read Global Truth. Conspiracy? Oh, okay. So now you're gonna look at me like I need a tinfoil hat on. As if they don't got V2K, MK Ultra, two-way radio frequency satellites, cameras everywhere, OnStar, smart devices. You tell me. Artificial intelligence wanna shadow us. All for the clamor and views, they playing sour. It's a game. The wine of Babylon got them shorties power drunk. In the Oculus, training like a school shooter. Got the Neuralink moving through they fried medullas. Circus Cross, Johnny Five, are they even alive? They created Frankenstein, let the blind lead the blind. It's the MRA, magnetic fields, radio waves. Now it's flowing through their veins, through the eye of a needle. Precursor to the mark of the beast. Why can't they see it? Broad path to destruction, my Lord. I pray you free us. They be watching when we speaking the truth. But non-believers, no control, but they thinking they God. They so conceited. My Lord, that's my rock and my fortress, so I ain't grieving. As the time draws nearer, gotta see this much clearer. Constantly checking the man that's in the mirror. If you still see your soul, just know that the world fears you. Born to be resilient, these bots can never kill you. We the glitch in the matrix, parallel in spaces. I've been running to my goals like I'm rocking some H6. This a makeshift alternative X reality. Deep fake setting the stage for more casualties. Neuralizers that really erase memories. Cloning labs where they harvest the soul energy. Backmasking, all they producers is doing sorcery. Force the Lord's hand, the Lord, and put a voice in me. Lift it like a trumpet and force the damn world to see the signs of the time. You calling it a conspiracy? So we gonna act like after the river Euphrates dried up, all hell ain't start breaking loose. We gonna act like after people got the slice, they ain't start collapsing and getting blood clots. They got all this biometrics, pseudoscience, CERN, conspiracy. Ha!
Look at you, mortals. Come by. If you dare.
Crazy.
The fallen angel technology is being used on a grand scale right now. Salute to the chat. Peace and blessings to everybody joining. Do me a solid and pound the like button on the way in. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if the audio is coming through crispy and clear with no discrepancies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those broadcasts that you should watch at your own risk. Because this is one of those videos, one of these streams where you're not going to quite see the world the same after watching this particular broadcast. You're just not going to see things the same anymore. Excellent. The audio is clear. That's great. That's great. I want to talk about an array of various topics in this particular broadcast, but it's all very relevant to what's going on right now in the world. We got to talk about the Synthians, ladies and gentlemen, the soulless beings. I've been saying this for a long time that everybody around you are not human beings. Everybody around you who prop themselves up as people are not people. When it comes to this Gangstalking program, where organized mobbing takes place on a grand scale against targeted individuals, people who possess certain abilities, people who are socially different, people who have political, religious, and social differences from the rest of the world. Those people who are being watched are not being watched by people a lot of the times, ladies and gentlemen, because everybody that walk among you are not people. There are some beings that are actually synthetic. They are soulless. And I want to make this very clear. Everything that I'm about to bring forth is validated through the scriptures. The Bible tells you that enmity will be caused between the woman's seed and the man's seed, and the serpent's DNA will be on this earth. They just had a Mountain Dew commercial that came out that showed the reptilian hybrid species and beings. But what if I told you all that there's government files, there's records? What if I told you all that in 8 different countries, they had the ability to clone people since 1932? Not only that, what if I told you that everything I'm telling you is the truth? It's not what you would call sensationalism. It's not any of those things. What if I told you that there are synthetic people that if you were to get close to them and touch them, their skin would have a plastic texture because they're actually not real? And a lot of your celebrities aren't people, as well as certain government officials, local law enforcement, governors, your fireman, your school teacher, you name it. Now, I know the Bible tells you to be careful not to utter everything you know. Because one thing about it, we don't want to get 5150 out here and thrown in St. Eves. But there's a lot of things that I know that I just don't say. But I'm beginning to feel like I'm among some of the like-minded on this platform to be able to divulge certain information to you all. Now, before we talk about these synthetic beings, I want you to know what you just witnessed here at the beginning of this video. For those who didn't see, we're talking about this here.
Look at you, mortals. Come by. If you
Crazy.
That is what you call Project Bluebeam. This is something that's going to be used a whole lot in the near future, particularly in these 15-minute smart cities. They're actually perfecting it to the point where they can stage prophetic events taking place in this earth. At least make it seem as if there's alien invasions, the second coming of Christ, you name it. These people are perfecting this technology that was given by the Greys. Now, we need to understand that everybody among you are not people. But keep in mind, the Bible tells us we battle not against flesh and blood, but wickedness and principalities in high places. I want you to hear from an actual CIA operative what he had to say about synthetic people.
Right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists.
First, he's talking about holograms, and what you just seen on your screen wasn't hologram. I don't know if you all are preview to, there was a concert by, it was an old 70s band where they just did a live concert of them in their prime stages and their prime ages. And it looked very real on stage. A lot of the concerts you're going to see aren't going to be actual people on stage. Yeah, they did one with Tupac. They did one with a couple of people. But what they used, the pixelations were so real, nobody even knew it was fake. Everybody thought it was actual people. They had large They had many large monitors put together, and they use a mirroring technique where you could not tell that it wasn't a real performance taking place. So when it comes to the holograms, imagine walking down the street and they're doing these things in the streets, and people don't know what's real and fake. And certain people who get trapped off in these cities, they're seeing holographic images jump off, seeing things happening, and they think they're just losing their mind. But really, these people are using these mirroring techniques, and they're using these specs and optics. Stuff is real, man. But they've had all of this technology for at least 100+ years. But let's go.
They've learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later he was a hologram.
Well, it's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, you guys can rent a video.
See, she's only thinking about holograms. No, they have actual synthetic people walking around. Let's go.
The boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and the Soviets have a different method called.
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning.
See, she's finding it real hard to believe. But the truth of the matter is they're making real walking, talking people with flesh and blood. Some of these entities walk around. They have a certain smell to them. Their skin has a certain texture to it. Some of these people, they like to wear trench coats. Some of them grow freakishly tall, or they have certain defects. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to sound crazy when I say this at all, but I've seen these entities. I know when I'm in the presence of one of these individuals that have no type of soul, because they have a very dark presence. A lot of them, the pupils in their eyes are a lot bigger than a normal person's. This is very serious stuff, man. Let's go.
Through genetics, you're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just connecting. Don't act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. It's, again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks.
Half of the food you've been eating is just duplicates. They're synthetics. And this is why they're actually using 3D printers to make the meat now. So now you have technology that's combining the astral world and the physical world. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they're making meat now out of 3D printers. See, what you must understand is the world that you live in is a matrix. There's more than one world. When that movie called Leave the World Behind is telling you to leave the world behind, it's telling you to find out the ways of the earth. It's telling you to gravitate towards the earth, back to nature, back to the country. The world is built on top of the earth, and all kind of spirits and entities and different forces that actually challenge what's possible is built on the earth. So in the world, nothing is impossible. It's pretty much limitless. Nothing makes sense, ladies and gentlemen, in this world. And it's just going to get more apparent. That's why they got the movie Nephilim coming out. They're trying to get the people prepared to see real Nephilim walking these streets. They're trying to get people to be prepared to see these entities and these forces. The message, thanks for the contribution, says, I never knew God's name. I was lost and believed the law was done away with, but it's not. Isaiah 52:6 says, many people shall know my name. It said, it's Yahuwah and his son is Yahusha. Keep it going, breed. The Most High's name is the great I am. That's what it tells you in the Bible. In the book of Exodus, when Moses asks, the Most High what his name is, he said, tell the children of Israel that my name is I am, because he is the Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning. When you think of creation, he is. So that's his name. I am. He doesn't go by the same rules that we have. He is creation. So he is. So his name is I am, the great I am. And far as his son name goes, it tells you that his son will return having a name that no man know. It'll be written on his crown when he returns. So that's why we don't debate and argue about Christ's name. But allow me to continue. But thank you for the contribution. All right, let's continue.
Weeks, all of a sudden that fetus is gone because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows. And the original technology was given to our government by the Greys. Now, the reason was that our scientists were all excited because we could have spare parts.
So all the elites that you see walking around, they all have clones of themselves so they can have spare parts. This is why the wicked are living such long lives. This is why they be 80, 90 years old. They be having replacements for their organs. That's why they make the duplicates and the synthetic beings. And he's telling you scientifically how they're able to make this possible. The same way they've been splicing and duplicating the food, they've been doing with some of these entities you see walking around here.
If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
But the so-called elite are selecting on who they want to have around anyway. So if we want to keep people going as long as we can, I talked to the doctor that was working on regeneration of Castro, for instance,
right,
on the DNA sequencing, and they're just like.
And as you can see, that looks a lot like that 3D printer that they're using to make the meat, that they're using to make the beef and the steaks and stuff like that. They're doing the same thing with people's genetic codes, and there are certain people like your Elvis Presleys, your Castros, your Adolf Hitlers, various people that they claim that they're not here, or they killed them off, or they come up with these narratives, but really them people still be alive. They just trace and copy their genetic code, and these entities are still walking around, and they don't have souls. You understand? This is real talk, y'all.
Whining about this.
Well, my understanding is that a lot of presidents have already been replaced.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're walking around. They look old, but they basically some of the people are just
I'll just
second,
give you
third
something
copies.
to pop.
Joe Biden has been replaced. Joe Biden has been replaced. Joe Biden is a straight up clone, and they have to take Biden to that cloning lab and recharge him every now and then, because that's why he's pretty much walking dead, like Weekend at Bernie's, because it's a clone. It's not the real Joe Biden. You can go back and look.
I'll give you something to ponder. Get some old videos of George Bush, when he first came into office. Look at the person and listen to him speak. Look at his actions and listen to everything that's there. Now, it's a lot easier to put somebody out in front to act as even Bush did. He had somebody else that was up there acting like he doesn't look like it. Even Hitler had he had his stand. In fact, his stand-in was the one that they found in the ground over in Germany.
They have a lot of stand-ins in the celebrity field as well. You got different versions of Kanye. You got different versions of Al Roker. Pretty much all your celebrity faces, they've been duplicated. And this is real talk right here. Somebody said, yeah, they definitely pulled the real Joe. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's why Joe Biden keep on glitching out. That's not really Joe Biden. Now, I'm sitting here saying all of this, and most of the world would say, man, New Breed, you tweaking, you on one. Like, what are you even talking about? This stuff can't be real. Listen, like I said, watching this particular broadcast, you're never going to see the world again the same. When you really start to tap into your insight and intuition,
you'll realize that this is very true. And when you think back, some of you are going to recollect some of the moments where you cross these entities and these forces. Real talk.
I mean, Hitler and Eva and the dog and 14 other people got aboard a plane and flew down to Barcelona, Spain. You were aware of that, and then ended up in Antarctica or in Swabenland, and then died a few years ago in Brazil.
That's what we heard. That's
I
what we heard.
have all the documents from our own government.
Yeah, see, the CIA has the documents about Hitler. You know, that's why these celebrity deaths and so forth, they're always shrouded with much mystery. Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is a duplicate. He's a synthetic. So one would ask, is that Jamie Foxx that we seeing on stage? It actually is Jamie Foxx, but it's a synthetic. It's his same DNA. Meaning, what do I mean by it is Jamie Foxx? All right, it's Jamie Foxx's DNA, so it is Jamie Foxx, but it's not the original Jamie Foxx. The original Jamie Foxx was killed off. They needed a soulless version because the real Jamie Foxx was apprehensive to doing certain things. The real Jamie Foxx was very health conscious, and there were certain things that he wasn't willing to do. So, hey, this is how these things work. The CIA operatives, the government, they make carbon copies. It just is what it is. This is why the Bible says, what does it cost to sell your soul and gain the world? These people can do whatever they want to do with you. These people can do exactly what they want to do with you. And a lot of these gang stalkers, perpetrators, and what we call meat suits, they are synthetic beings with no soul. Because you got to ask yourself, what kind of entity just sit around following God's people, just sit around following the righteous? What kind of people don't mind tormenting and torturing people, making people's lives hard and difficult? Those are not actual people. And when you put the glasses on to see, the glasses from They Live, we talking about the spiritual glasses. When you actually take the red pill, you know that you battling spirits. You know that these are different entities. And let me make this clear. There's a difference. There's a difference between a spirit and a soul. Let me break this down, ladies and gentlemen. These entities do have spirits. They don't have souls. Now, let me be clear what that means. And the Bible talks about this as well. And I'm doing a lot of paraphrasing this evening, but one day we are really going to go into a great deal of scripture, chapter, line on line, precept on precept when it comes to this. But when it comes to a spirit, right? A spirit is almost a current, an electric energy, if you will. This is why when somebody's playing with a Ouija board or there's a unclean spirit in the building, the electricity starts to flicker and all that. This is why you can bring somebody back to life through the spirit. You can take a what are those things called when you place them on somebody's chest and you bring them back when they falling out, when they about to cross over. Yeah, it's a frequency, a vibration. You can bring them back to life because it's exactly a plasmatic energy. That's what a spirit is. A bug can have a spirit. Don't mean that bug has an actual soul. Do you understand? Yeah, a defibrillator. So a spirit more so goes into wavelengths, a force, but a soul is a whole nother. Y'all gotta understand, a soul is a whole nother idea, according to the Bible. Your soul is your very essence. Your soul goes into your mind's eye. Your soul is what the Most High knew before you even came to the earth, the book of Jeremiah. That's what a soul is. Your soul was that original vessel that the Lord had in heaven that he was talking to. Even while you was a baby, you had that soul. So when people, quote unquote, sell their soul, they're selling all their innocence. They're giving their innocence, they're giving their essence away. It's what makes you uniquely you, your spirit. Everything that is good in you comes from your soul. Now, you can have a spirit, but you can lose a soul. Yet a soul is a birthright. Exactly. See, I got some highly intelligent people in here who understand the difference here. So it's not unheard of for an entity to walk around with no soul. Right? Let's go.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a contact. One of our
Stalin
contacts.
even Stalin asked for the, they tried to burn the body, and he got the body back, and so we had different ears, and the testicles were different, and everything else, so they knew it wasn't Hitler.
But is it a clone or not?
Oh, now going about cloning techniques. Since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. I have a doctor friend that all he does is treat the clones.
Y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Since 1932, 8 countries have been making clones utilizing stem cells. Since 1932. Matter of fact, I can distinctly remember Bill Clinton. I remember Bill Clinton coming on the news saying it was illegal to do cloning. Y'all remember that, right? He was like, there will be no federal funding. It is illegal for any federal funding to be done on cloning. Why would the news play that unless that was a real issue going on during his time of presidency?
Where do you get your information?
I get it from some of the people that are willing to come forth, and they talk to me because they hope I'll put the information out, because they always got 2 people following them, and they may be killed. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that disappear on it. So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available, and it more and more that's coming online. I just told you, go rent the movie.
Okay, Boys from Brazil.
Yeah, and you'll see the whole technique on what they show it to you in different places, so you can imagine what it's going on.
Okay, so
now let's go to the next step, because this is the most important part.
All right.
If your physical reality that you have, based on this physical life that you have, this dream, is made up of the experiences that is impregnated on your body and in your mind consciously, right? Mm-hmm. Your soul memory is another thing. Mm-hmm. It goes back whatever time that you elected to be in this incarnation for whatever reason.
See, now he just brought up your spirit conscious and your soul conscious. He's talking a little bit about the differences. Now, the way he's explaining it, with the spirit, you can have a memory through that conscious of the spirit. It could be transferred, it could be carried on, but your soul goes more into a deeper, more esoteric vibration, meaning this is something preconceived. Your soul is like, hey, when you decided to come to this planet, when you had that conversation with the Almighty, that's your soul right there. So that's deep, yo. That could be life force without souls. And there are plenty of people walking around without souls. Let me ask y'all something. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you was in dire need and you was going through something that was just horrendous, and the people around you who were supposed to be there to help seem to have no type of compassion at all? Like none. Like, let's say you in the emergency room and all the doctors around you start morphing. Like, they start looking demonic. Like, they don't even care to help you. Like, they just acting like you ain't going through ish. Like you not suffering. Those are soulless beings, y'all. Like, seriously, you walk into a hospital, you in the worst state of mind, you hurting, you going through something, and they just gaslighting you. They just acting incompetent. They acting like it don't matter if you live or die. Like that's an entity that don't have a soul. And they just like generic. They won't lift a helping hand. They don't have no type of love. These entities are in our society more than you know, ladies and gentlemen. They're everywhere. And they are purposely placing these entities in places of power, or places where human life, actual human life, can be in danger. Yeah, they be totally unbothered. Share the actual scripture, Bryant Bud. The actual scripture where it says, "For what man knoweth the thing of a man, save the spirit of a man which is in him? Even so, the thing of God knoweth no man but the spirit of God." Share that actual scripture and make sure it's King James Version. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is real.
Let's show you the division on these things. Since the body is very physical, and we just got you making a physical being in a few months for spare parts. They said, now we've got the perfect deal. How can we have that work better? Well, if you go to the hospital today and get an encephalogram, what's that? That's the memory of your conscious mind. It's on the CD. Let's download it on this being. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have, because we just took it off of your own mind.
Okay, it's like Blade Runner, the android.
Exactly. The only thing is,
and they're trying their best to basically do this to the chosen. The Most High has been protecting a lot of us from these cloning labs. And let me tell you, they really don't need much. They don't need much to make a clone. All they need is, a couple particles of your DNA. They just need to get the code of your genome pool and pretty much get some of your genes. Not true religions, but y'all know what I mean, your actual genes. And if they can get that, they can do it. I mean, seriously. But a lot of those clones that they try to make of you chosen ones, a lot of them just die off. The Most High won't let them live. The movie they cloned Tyrone, they was trying to explain to y'all how they set up shop in the hood. A lot of missing folks, a lot of missing people. See, this Gangstalking program is all about experimenting. It's all about experimenting on our people. This is what it's always been about. When they going into, certain communities, it's all about that. But let's go.
that it's like this DVD recorder. Sometimes you have glitches in it, so you have to have them tuned up occasionally or redone. And so we take them to Camp David, or there's a wing at Bethesda Hospital.
See, it's a wing in Bethesda Hospital. Listen, he's giving you actual locations. Camp David, Bethesda Hospital. He's telling you that these clones have to go in to these places and they have to get, either shock treatment or whatever these doctors are doing to get them right back on track, because they be tweaking out. I seen videos, of different celebrities pausing, getting stuck, staring in the air. Yeah, those are clones. Those are clones. Those are soulless beings. There's a lot of soulless beings that are on your TV set today. Real talk. And there's a lot in these communities that we live in too. Just weird. You ever just see somebody in your community that's just weird? I mean, they just weird. They just something feel out of place. It's like when they pop up, you get the damn heebie-jeebies. It's like you don't seem like you belong here. I'm telling you.
Just tell you, if you go down there and check, you'll find the nurses, if they're willing to come forth, they'll tell you they work on those people, and they call them the others.
They call them the others. There's a movie called The Others.
Thought it was interesting. They're people. Remember, these people can think and act, but they don't have soul. That's also prophesized.
Right,
Soulless
that's
beings.
true. That's true.
Now we have another agenda that's going on, so you have to be careful of all this. There are many extraterrestrials that would like to be in on the game right now, so they can sometimes will come into these physical beings that we make to manipulate them.
I see.
So now you have a combination effort that you have to look at, and discernment. You have to discern what the game is. Well, just figure that most of the leaders we have in the world have been bought and paid for or created to think a certain way.
And then it was such a hit.
Most of our leaders are bought and paid for and taught to think a certain way. Now I'm gonna play this all the way through one time for the one time.
It was way bigger than I even anticipated, and now I think we're gonna make part 2. I think you have to. I think you have to. They kill you if you try to walk away.
Yeah,
It's down there in the haunted mansion. You see
that movie Us. That was also, letting us know what they got going on as well. Let me see. Dora says there were one of the cases in the USA of Ebola that they were taken to. Interesting. Somebody said they tried to swap me as a baby. They didn't want my mom to see me when I came out. It says scientists and journalists wanted to study my report. I'm telling you, man, there's a reason why when we are all born, they're trying to draw our blood. They're trying to get our DNA. Because one thing about it, if the mother's blood work is coming back just fine, a lot of times the baby, well, not even a lot of times, if the mother's blood is coming back right, the baby should be right. But they're trying to get DNA a lot of the times. That's real talk. And they can also see who God's chosen people are too, through bloodline. And it's not even based on skin color either. You can't judge God's people on the outward appearance. There's certain geno codes that go off. I'm telling you. And there's certain geno codes that go off when people change their lives too. It's deep.
the hologram, right? Oh, you know how to make a hologram. Well, our scientists have learned how to make people. They call them synthetics. Are you familiar with those?
Well, actually, we just interviewed John Lear, and he was talking about being in an audience in which they were given a lecture by a guy that they thought was real and found out later he was a hologram.
Well, it's a synthetic. The synthetics, when you touch their skin, it feels like plastic almost. That's the latest technique. The old techniques, if you guys can rent a video, the boys from Brazil, rent it, because in it, it gives you the exact way how our government's been making people.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
and the Soviets have a different method called...
I mean, making people meaning temporary people?
No, walking, talking ones.
Meaning through genetics? You're not talking about that?
Well, let me tell you. The movie shows it, but I'll share it with you right now.
All right.
All I need to do is take 2 cells off of your body, yours.
Uh-huh.
We give them a small electrical charge. I'm just connecting. Don't act like a fertilized egg. If I got a fertilized egg, all I need is a receiver in order to make it. So they were hypnotizing women, said they were being invaded by aliens. And the fetus starts growing, right? Needs food. Well, they can use cows and sheep, too. It's, again, a food source. That's all we need. After about 14 weeks, all of a sudden, that fetus is gone because they've learned to take, that's when the fetus starts developing its own blood supply. Then they've used a pituitary hormone extract that they have, which accelerates the being that grows.
That's exactly what it is. They're trying to find a VMAT2 gene, also known as the God gene. And they can also find that God gene within the obtuse gland on the frontal lobe of the brain. And they actually like to go and get that through those through those Q-tips that they was putting in people's noses. They can actually swab and see who is who. I'm telling you, man, you're dealing with some deranged, psychopathic, diabolical, insidious motherfuckers. I'm telling you, bro. There's some real creepy entities and forces out here in this world. But this is why, the like-minded got to gravitate towards one another, man, because it gets kind of heavy walking around seeing the things we can see. Once you take that red pill, you can't unsee this stuff. You just can't unsee it. But yeah, these mad scientists are very real, man. This stuff is very real. And you can say what you want, call me crazy, call me sensationalized, a crackpot, whatever you want. But I wholeheartedly believe everything that I'm hearing in this video. And on top of that, I can verify and validate everything scriptural.
The original technology was given to our government by the grace.
The original technology was given to our government by the grace. I believe that because we're talking about Nephilim. The Bible talks all about the fallen angels who came down and made it with women. It talks all about in the book of Enoch how these Nephilim or Nephilim were teaching mankind various skills and trades and giving them different technologies and so forth. So why do we think as people that all that just went away? Is that what we think? That all that technology the fallen angels was giving mankind? We talking about war, makeup, weapons. We talking about holographic images, different technology, the mixing of clay and iron, metals, the mixing of different herbs, how to make drugs, how to make all these things. What do we just think happened? It just stopped. It didn't just stop, ladies and gentlemen. They're advancing more and more. Exactly. This Nephilim taught people witchcraft, sorcery, magic. So we don't believe in 2023, going on 2024. By now, we don't believe that they out here making fake people, that everybody walking among us are just humans. Don't be naive, brothers and sisters. Don't be naive. Absolutely. They was teaching them astrology and all of that. Don't be naive. That's all I'm saying.
Now, the reason was that our scientists were all excited because we could have spare parts. If you need a heart or a liver or anything, you won't have any rejection. It's your own DNA, right?
Okay, because theoretically, if we have overpopulation, we don't need more people, right?
But the so-called elite are selecting on who they want to have around anyway. So if we want to keep people going as long as we can, I talked to the doctor that was working on regeneration of Castro, for instance,
right,
on the DNA sequencing, and they're just learning about this.
They keep people around who they want to keep around, for real.
Well, my understanding is that a lot of presidents have already been replaced.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think
they're walking around. They look old, but they basically some of the people are just
I'll just give you something I'll give you something to ponder. Get some old videos of George Bush, when he first came into office. Look at the person and listen to him speak. Look at his actions and listen to everything that's there. Now, it's a lot easier to put somebody out in front to act as even Bush did. He had somebody else that was up there acting like he is and look like it. Even Hitler had he had his stand. In fact, his stand-in was the one that they found in the ground over in Germany. I mean, Hitler and Eva and the dog and 14 other people got aboard a plane and flew down to Barcelona, Spain. You were aware of that, and then ended up in Antarctica or in Swabenland, and then died a few years ago in Brazil.
That's what we heard. I
have all the documents from our own government.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a contact. One of our
Stalin Stalin asked for they tried to burn the body, and he got the body back, and he said we had different ears, and the testicles were different, and everything else, so they knew it wasn't Hitler.
But is it a clone or not?
Oh, now I'm going about cloning techniques.
This is wild, y'all. And sir, I seen that trailer. I'm actually gonna react to that on a little later date. You know what I do? I'm actually go see the movie when it comes out, and I do breakdowns on some of these movies. So I did see that trailer a little bit earlier. But this right here is wild, man. People be thinking that this stuff is fake, but hey, you could take the red pill or take the blue pill. You decide.
Since 1938, they've been making clone people. There's 8 countries making clones. I have a doctor friend that all he does is treat the clones.
Where do you get your information?
I get it from some of the people that are willing to come forth, and they talk to me because they hope I'll put the information out, because they always got 2 people following them and they may be killed. If I start talking about cloning too much, the people that get involved into that disappear on it.
Right. People be, a lot of those people who work in these cloning labs, they get followed. They're targeted individuals. That's what happens when you playing for Satan's team. You got all eyes on you all the time. They at least have 4 to 6 people watching, basically following them everywhere. And if they start basically talking out of line, the men in black is coming to erase their memory, snatch them up, and run experiments on them. That's how we go. It don't pay to work for those entities, because they're being ran by something way different. We talking about them 10-foot beings show up to their house if they start speaking too much. And even the CIA agent that's telling you what's going on, he's probably one of them. I'm telling you some real talk. The rabbit hole goes deep. He could be possibly one of them but he's telling you because they have to tell you what they do because it's lesser magic. But they have the timing, they know how to utilize the numbers or when to tell and all of that. I mean, it's real talk. And also, y'all, I got a great announcement, man. I got a great announcement. I might as well start promoting this now. Uh, I'm gonna have Purpose Over Pleasure on the platform. I know you all remember me reacting to his content. We're gonna be streaming together on Wednesday. So that's gonna be dope. That's gonna be dope, and that's gonna be a great collaboration. And for those who don't know, Purpose Over Pleasure, his channel is about sex addiction, and he speaks a great deal about brothers, particularly coming from their adolescent stages to manhood, who have addictions to escorts, prostitutes, or what have you. So that's going to be a very, very informative broadcast. That's going to help a lot of men out and women alike. So yes, mark your calendars for that. But anyway, I thought I just announced that, and shout out to brother Purpose Over Pleasure. All right. Anyway, listen to this, y'all.
So I don't go into too many more details, but there is information that's available, and it more and more of that's coming online. I just told you, go rent the movie.
Okay, Boys from Brazil.
Yeah, and you'll see the whole technique on what they show it to you in different places, so you can imagine what it's going on.
Okay, so
now let's go to the next step, because this is the most important part.
All right.
If your physical reality that you have, based on this physical life that you have, this dream, is made up of the experiences that is impregnated on your body and in your mind consciously, right? Mm-hmm. Your soul memory is another thing. Mm-hmm. It goes back whatever time that you elected to be in this incarnation for whatever reason. Now let's show you the division on these things. Since the body is very physical, and we just got you making a physical being in a few months for spare parts. They said, now we've got the perfect deal. How can we have that work better? Well, if you go to the hospital today and get an encephalogram, what's that? That's the memory of your conscious mind. It's on the CD. Let's download it on this being. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have.
So don't be out here going getting a bisectogram, ladies and gentlemen. If they ever try to scan your brain like that and record what's going on in your mind, and they want to put it on a disc, ladies and gentlemen, that's a red flag right there. So be careful of getting what you would call a bisectogram. All right? Because that's more than likely somebody trying to duplicate your DNA. Real talk. See, Satan is trying to be like the Most High, man. He's nothing but a copycat. He can't make anything original. He got to steal from God's real creations to make something else.
Because we just took it off of your own mind.
Okay. It's like Blade Runner, the android.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The only thing is that it's like this DVD recorder. Sometimes you have glitches in it, so you have to have them tuned up occasionally or redone. And so we take them to Camp David, or there's a wing at Bethesda Hospital to just tell you. If you go down there and check, you'll find the nurses, if they're willing to come forth, they'll tell you they work on those people, and they call them the others.
See, man, this stuff is real. The others exist. The others truly exist. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to come through with this quick broadcast. I don't really have too much more to say about this, but the rabbit hole goes deep. The rabbit hole goes deep. And now this particular interview, it answers a lot of questions to what's going on with some of these celebrities. Yeah, McConnell out here freezing and glitching out. Encephalogram. Let me put the word up for y'all. Boom, there you go. They try to give you one of those jokers right here. Be like, nah, I'm good, champ. But, it is what it is, man. Y'all stay safe and balanced out there. I got more content coming. Turn your post notification bell on so you can get these streams as they are being uploaded. Thank each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. My Cash App is in the description box, as well as newbreed.love if you would like to support our economy and support small businesses. Make sure you do so on newbreed.love. But the Cash App is in the description box, and it is New Breed Global 77. It's New Breed Global Truth 77. So that's for our land development in North Carolina. Anyway, look, I love each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all. Have a blessed evening. With that being said, shalom and peace.